Hi, my name's Joshua Green, and I'm here to talk to you about the importance of film preservations within the world of communications. Oof. So, probably wondering why we wouldn't even need to look back and preserve the films from the 1910s to about the 1940s when it's a lot easier to preserve the films that we see nowadays, which are usually shot on digital formats. Well, due to the historical significance of those films and those formats and how they've been even used in today, especially with Christopher Nolan's most recent film coming out called Oppenheimer. It's good to have a way to be able to view stuff from our past and look at it as either inspiration or as historical documents to see where we came from when it comes within the world of mass communication and filmmaking. A lot of formats like 8 millimeter, 60 millimeter, 35 millimeter, and 70 millimeter are really hard to keep uh, in good condition due to some of the ways people store and handle them, those particular formats of film. And when it comes to the idea that we could lose those if not properly handled, it makes sense to preserve, restore, and archive films, especially from the 1910s up until the 1940s, due to the fragility of those particular film formats, especially ones on nitrate film that could either become corroded by vinegar syndrome and or catch on fire due to the material used to make the film. As you can see within this graph right here, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, this particular graph is kind of backwards, but I'll read off some statistics. So between 1914 to about 1928, the percentage being the lowest uh, uh, chance of being able to preserve a film is at 7% up until about 1926, which has at least gone up to about 25% of a chance of preserving. Anything after 1928 actually has a way higher chance of being preserved and restored easier than the other earlier formats of film and the years that they were filmed due to the process of which the particular rolls of film were made, and then, of course, the nitrate film, and the fact that a lot of those films were lost to time due to only having one or two copies in existence and being not stored properly. So anything from about 1930 to 1940 rises in percentile to about 90%, closer to 1940, of a chance of being able to be preserved and restored over time. A good example of a particular film that only had one copy but was lucky enough to be donated and preserved in order to be viewed in the future was a short documentary called Listen to a Stranger: An Interview with Gordon Parks. Luckily, there was a person who had a copy of it and was able to send it to the University of Washington in their annex area in St. Louis, and at their archiving uh, restoration center there, they were able to restore, archive, and preserve the film and put it up online for people to view, which has now been up for about a couple of years now and is readily available to see. Another good reason for the preservation and archiving of films, uh, especially when it comes to mass communication, is for anthropology reasons. Behind uh, the National Museum of National Historians Human Studies Film Archive. They are a archiving group that works with natural history museums nationally in order to preserve films that have been made to show the world's diverse outlooks and perspectives and going to various other countries and other like kind of cultures to make these short to longer films for anthropology studies. And every year, the particular group actually holds a festival encompassing the films that they were able to either come across and preserve and or create in order to show people world perspective. So with that being said, it's honestly really important to keep track of these films and hold them together in order to have more of a better idea of world diversity and how we can understand others from their perspective, as well as keeping track of things from the past involving our own history.